This morning we're getting ready to feed the puppies, but I wanted you to see already at 3 months old. Watch this. Go take a look. Watch this. I want everybody to sit down before I feed them. So the only one that I'm waiting for is Grizzly and that's Grizzly. Come on, Grizzly. Yeah. Like you see, so she's done, but again, she didn't finish everything. So I'm like, okay, that's not bad. I mean, that's good. That's good. So one of the things that I'm also working with is, Bear. Bear has been with us for a good while, almost about a year. But, I'm still working with him as far as, what I was working with Ginger. So that's it. Look, I didn't tell her to do that, So I'll give her one more, and then we're done. I don't like fat dogs. I like fit dogs. I don't like fat dogs. That's my thing. You get fat dogs, you can't roll, baby. So like with Bear, I mean, we've been working with him for close to about a year, but I'm now wanting to bring him into the base pack group, now that he's mine. But I also want to do is get him used to being around me, which is good, because this is right now. I mean, he's about a good 3 feet away from me, and this is something that he would never do. He never had that confidence of being around me that closely. Now, being that we're still working with Azul, as far as letting him know how to get more. So this is how we do it. So I want him to understand that when I do this, I get this. So by doing what I'm doing, I'm like again right here, passing Bear, nothing bad's happening. He's not freaking out. He's not running off or anything, But he knows that this area is where they eat, So what I'm looking for is him to get that nerve just like that. You see it? See it right there? I mean, I know you probably can't see it, but he's getting up on the on where the feeding table is at. So I'm gonna go ahead and move the camera so we can see just a little bit more. So now Moke is done. Oops. Move. So the reason I move. So the reason I started putting Bear with this group is because this is how I taught Ginger on how to be around everybody else. So what I'm seeing, I mean, you can see it right behind me. He's wanting to get up. Okay, I want food. I'm hungry. I'm like, okay. Well, if you want food, you got to come up. That's going to be your first lesson. In order to get something, you have to work for it. I'm not going to give it to you. It's not. Most cases when you have feral dogs or dogs that are nervous, afraid, a lot of times people will bring the food to them, and that right there is you're not letting the dog work for their food. You're not letting them come out of their shell to get what it is that they want. So what I want is I want him to make that effort. You show me that effort, and I will go ahead and reward that with food. So again, I mean, he's gonna walk around. He's gonna be whining. He's gonna like, and thinking like, okay, what is it that I have to do in order to get those? Everybody keeps on doing that. So by watching everybody else, he sees I have to get up, and then wait, and then I'll get food. Right now I'll call his name. Try to get him up there. But thing is also I want to see him make that effort. That is the most important thing for him. To when he's to grow. As far as the confidence inside him. I want him to make those efforts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move him down this way. Because Bear is usually comfortable coming up on this side. See it? Look at that. Look at that. Awesome. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and just sit here right next to him. So, I mean, that way he... So that way he gets used to me being around, around him, I'm not going to talk to him. I'm not going to look at him. I'm not going to pet him. I'm not going to really do anything to him. I just want him to be right next to me. Or vice versa. See, the thing is that if you've seen the Trip and Trip videos, when you have someone that's nervous, you saw Minchie, you saw Uriel, you saw Zyra, standing right next to Trip. This is all they did. So I'm mimicking what it is that I've learned from them. When you have a nervous guy, don't really do anything. Just, be there to support them. So that way they can see no harm will come to them. He does have a thing with humans. So what I'm letting him know is like, not all humans are the same. At least I'm not. But what I also want him to see is that, I'm not one to reach out for him. I mean, I would love to give him affection, and I've been waiting for the longest time to give it to him. But when you have someone like this who isn't ready for it, I mean, don't force it upon him. So like with a couple of people that I've talked to on Facebook, they have cases like this. They have cases to where the dog shuts down. They have cases to where the dog won't eat, or the dog is so nervous that it won't eat unless there's somebody there. So you have to get them to that point to where they make the effort upon themselves to do it. Like when I got over here, I was surprised that he even jumped up here on his own without me calling. Well, I did call him, but the other thing was that he did it on his own. That was the pinnacle. So I mean, of course it's just the beginning. So I'm not going to get overly excited. I am proud of him for what he's done. I'm proud that he's coming up on his own and facing his fears. With humans, that's great. That's awesome. So the more that we do this, the more that he's going to see. Okay, I can eat. I mean, I feed him in the kennel, but again, I'm bringing the food to him, so he's not necessarily coming to me for the food. This time, it's changing because I'm changing what it is that I'm doing with him. Yeah. So I mean, again, I'm moving, but I'm not really going for him or anything like that. So I'm not going to go over there and say it's all right, I'm sorry, it's okay. I wasn't going to do anything. I have no reason to explain myself. So I mean, he wants to come back up. He can come back up. Come on, Bear. Come on. Again, not looking at him. I want him to make that effort. Come on, Bear. Bear. And I know he wants to because I can hear he's like, I mean, so that right there is letting me know like he want to so bad, but I'm kind of like iffy about it. Move. Come on, Bear. Bear, come on. Come on, Bear. So I'll give him about a good, maybe at the most, 5 minutes, to see what happens. If he doesn't come up in 5 minutes, okay, then we'll go ahead and try again tomorrow. So, you know, I'm keeping a time limit on it, so that way, you know, I'm not, you know, out here forever, you know, waiting for him to eat. You know, if you're not going to eat, you're not going to eat. You know, I don't feel bad about it. I mean, he's already eaten just enough. So, I mean, you know, that'll sustain him for, you know, the night. But the thing is that I also want him to you know, get that taste in his mouth, like, oh, that was food. So that way, you know, the hunger starts overcoming the fear. I mean, if you think about, you know, the body needs fuel in order to perform. So in order for him to continue, you know, existence, you know, he needs to feed his body so that way the body can function. But the thing is that he's got the fear. The fear is what's stopping him from moving forward. But, you know, like I said, he's eating, so I'm not too worried about him starving, because he's not starving. But what I do want is him to get that taste in his mouth, that's food. And then, of course, you know, over time, if he doesn't eat, you know, after a while, fear will be not a factor, because the hunger is overriding the fear. You know, I have to eat, I'm hungry, you know. And you know, in most cases or movies that you've seen, that, you know, people will put their lives in jeopardy just to get something to eat, you know, because it's you know, important that you know, get something for your body to refuel itself. Come here. So again, I want him to make the effort. You know, like I said, I'm going to be waiting here for like about the next 5 minutes, and if nothing happens, put the food up, and let's go ahead and you know, move on. You know. So again, I'm not necessarily looking at him. I can see him where he's at, but, you know, I'm not, you know, just. So that's Mocha corrected pseudo. So he's going that way. So he's pretty much, I'm done. So, you know, that's pretty much going to end the exercise. So again, bid you adieu. Thanks for watching, and y'all guys have a great day. And remember, there are no bad dogs, just misinformed owners. Thank you, guys.